Okay, it's working. This is the first thing I wanted to review for the basic skills page. This, of course, these are the notes that I give the fifth graders exactly. So we're basically just going to talk about adding decimal numbers. Now you can see in the aim that it's basically just going to be by aligning the decimals and the place values. Now this is important when we have decimal numbers, simply because that must be the way you do it. It will be sometimes helpful to annex zeros in empty spaces. This will be significant later on with subtraction. You always should annex zeros in the numbers in a subtraction problem. Here, it's oftentimes easier to organize yourself to annex the zeros. So you must align them. Of course, you must align the decimals. You can see the rule there. When adding decimals, you must align the decimals and the place values. So all the numbers in the add-ins, in the ones place, should be lined up one right over the other. Those in the tenths place value should all be in the same column. Those in the hundreds place column, if there are any, should all be in the same column. So it is important that you line them up. And you know what? You could line them up right about that decimal. The decimals should be lined up as well. This is only in addition and subtraction at this point. Keep in mind, you should know these definitions. The addend is just any number being added, and the sum is the evaluation of those addends. It is important. Now, I, of course, point this out to a lot of the kids. It's really important that you're neat. Don't be sloppy. It's not difficult to line these things up. So let's do this first example here. 5 63/100. Oh, let me get rid of that. Oh. Okay. 5. Oh, why is it doing that? Okay, I think I fixed it. So we have 5 63/100. Now I look right away. This is an easy one. I see that I have a ones, a tenths, and a hundredths. In this one, I have a ones, I have the decimal, and the tenths. Now I know right away that those decimals have to be aligned. So the number in the ones place is a 3, and the one in the tenths place goes under the 6. Of course, I put this. This, of course, is known as the standard algorithm. I'm, of course, going to put the plus sign. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to annex a 0. It's not necessary in addition, but I am going to annex it there. So, of course, the 3 plus the 0 is 3. The 6 plus the 1 is 7/10. I make sure I put that decimal there. Remember, they are lined up right there. And 5 ones and 3 ones is 8 ones. So there we have the sum of 5 63/100 and 3 1/10. Let's go to another one. Now this one's a little more challenging simply because, well, there's no decimal in this number. In 28, we have to realize that in 28, it is understood that the decimal is after the ones place, right here. We don't usually put it there, but we're going to in this case for the addition of decimal numbers. So we're going to line them up. I have the 2 in the tens place, the 8 in the ones. Now this is a 2 in the ones place, so I know that this is going to go underneath the 8. And I also know that the decimal is going to go right here. This is lined up nicely. I have 8 tenths to the right, 2 hundredths, and then 3 thousandths. Set that up, put my addition sign. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to annex some zeros here just to make it nicer or nicer looking for me. There's a 0, there's a 0, and there's a 0. So 0 and 3 thousandths is going to be 3 thousandths. 0 and 2 thousandths, it's going to be 2 thousandths. 8 and 0 8. What did I just say here? 0 and 2 hundredths is 2 hundredths. 8 tenths and 0 is 8 tenths. Remember, you do have to know the property. 0 plus any number is that same number. Anybody know that one? 8 ones and 2 ones gives me 10 ones. So I have to regroup those 10 ones over here. 2 tens and 1 10 gives me 3 tens. So that's 30 and 80, 823 thousandths. That's the sum of these two numbers. Let's go on to one last one, a little bit more challenging, just because there's a lot more digits. Now remember, with addition, it doesn't matter which one you put first or second. I usually just keep it as is. The first one I usually put on the top. If you have a preference, that's up to you. But you just have to make sure you're aligning the decimals neatly. So I'm going to write 103 and 2 tenths first. Now I see that there are a lot of digits here, so it might be a little bit confusing. So maybe I'll just go to the decimal. And I see the decimal there. I see 2 tens. That goes underneath the 0 tens. And then the 9. So I fill that in. And then basically the other numbers just fall into place. 684 thousandths. And this is how you add decimal numbers. No matter how big or how small they are, that's a very easy process. I always like to see the operation there. It is up to you whether or not you want to annex these zeros. In this case, I'm going to. And so I have 0 thousandths and 4 thousandths, and it gives me 4 thousandths. 0 hundredths and 8 hundredths. I messed that up last time. Is 8 hundredths. 2 tenths and 6 tenths is 8 tenths. And then 9 ones, 3 ones is 12 ones. Remember to regroup. Regroup, that's going to, of course, give me 2 tens, 0 tens, and 1 ten. And that gives me 3 tens. Nothing to regroup, and I have 100 right there. Okay, you should be able to do the practice set as well at this point.